Have you been feeling stuck when it comes to your yarn and what you're going to make next? If you have, then I am begging you, please box up your yarn. Hi. Hello. He's a puppy. Yes, he's a puppy. Okay. Yes, I am begging you to box up your yarn and put it away. Or at least, the yarn that you don't like, that you are not reaching for, that is not inspiring you, and you just wish you didn't have to look at anymore. That's the yarn I'm talking about. I just did that with my own yarn. Here's a link to that video. So I have 3 tubs full of all of my acrylic yarn because I was sick of looking at it. It was not inspiring me. It was making me feel overwhelmed with what am I going to make with this yarn? Why do I still have this yarn? I don't use this yarn. There's a puppy. Okay. If you can hear the whiny dog, I'm sorry, she's a little impatient. But the main reason why I want you to box up your yarn out of sight, out of mind, is that clearing away the clutter will clear your mind and leave room for your creativity to flourish. Here's what I mean. Here, I think I have a picture of what my shelf, this thing, looked like before I boxed up my yarn. Okay. If I have one, it's here. Looking at that was not inspiring. I'm sorry if you hear outside noises. The window is open and I have no plans of closing it. Okay, we're not doing that. The shelf, my bookcase full of yarn, was not inspiring me. I was looking at all of that acrylic and I didn't want to do anything with it. All of my pretty yarn was hiding either amongst all of that or it was in project bags and I couldn't see it. And I didn't like that. So I said one day, nope, we're not doing that anymore. We're boxing it up and I want to see my pretty yarn. I want to see it. Okay. So I did. That's what I did. I bought 3 of those big totes from Target and I did. I boxed it all up. I think the only thing that is out still is the cotton yarn. And I hate the cotton yarn. Okay? I hate it so much. It's not a cotton that you would use for garments. It's more like dishcloths and if you want to make a bag, it's a bag or coasters or something you're not going to wear. It's like that kind of cotton yarn and I detest it. But I have not tossed it yet. I plan on it. I plan on it, but not quite yet. There's a couple things I want to look at first and then I'll toss it. But I I did it. I put it away. Here's that video on it. I'll link it again. And now that my bookcase is all nice and pretty, I'm feeling inspired to use my stuff. The next reason why you should put away your yarn is that putting away what you're not using, what you don't like, what you never reach for, that kind of thing, it leaves space for what you actually want to use. So that ties back into letting your creativity flourish. And I am giving you permission to throw away yarn. I know, I give myself that permission. I have done that. There have been yarns that I hate working with, and no, I did not feel bad about tossing them. They are the Bernat blanket yarn and the Lion brand Feels Like Butter. Okay. The blanket yarn I feel is good for one thing, and that is reusable water balloons. I did those, I want to say 7 years ago when my middle and youngest were still in diapers, and I crocheted water balloon shapes. And that Bernat blanket yarn is essentially a giant sponge, and it's very easy to put them in a bucket full of water, squeeze out if you want to squeeze it out so it's not as hard when it hits people, and you just throw them. Water balloon fight with balloon shaped sponges. That's really the only thing that's good for. I hate that yarn. It's soft to the touch when you first touch it, but if you keep touching it and you work with it, it dries out your hands so they look and feel like a mummy, and there's nothing you can do. I hate it. I tossed it. I did not feel bad. The Feels Like Butter yarn. The only reason why I got that is it was the suggested yarn for a sweater I wanted to make. I did make the sweater. I got rid of the sweater and I tossed the yarn. Again, it feels soft when you first touch it, but the more I worked with it, the more I hated it and did not like it. So when local yarn store was having like a consignment booth at a holiday market, I gave it to them. And it was the first thing that sold. And I did not feel bad about getting rid of that sweater. Will I eventually? Well, I have nothing against the pattern. Pattern is fantastic. I just hate the yarn with a passion. And so I tossed it. I didn't want to keep the extras. No. So you have permission to throw away yarn you absolutely do not like and hate. Another one on that list is Red Heart. Yes, I know. I hate Red Heart yarn. I have always hated Red Heart yarn. Yes, a lot of what is in my bins is Red Heart, but I got it when I didn't know any better. Okay? There are better acrylic yarns out there. If you cannot do any kind of wool, there are better acrylic yarns. Please do not use Red Heart. Find something better if you can. Do I still have it? Yes, because it is good for toys. It really is. It's good for toys. And I make a lot of random crap. Okay? I made a sea turtle a couple weeks ago. It's like this big. And I used leftover acrylic yarn. I think it actually might have been Vanna's Choice. That's what I used. But that's why I keep the little bits, the leftovers, because it's good for random things like that. If you want to pause and go get rid of yarn or go find some boxes to put your yarn in, I'll wait and we'll do what's next. Right, now that your yarn is put away and you now only have out what you actually want to use and the pretty stuff, let's talk about organization. But thoughtful organization, okay? Is there a better way than how you're currently doing it to better facilitate your making? Is there a better way? How do you organize your yarn? Do you go by the yarn weight? Do you go by fiber content? Do you go in rainbow order? How do you organize your yarn? Think about that. Mine is done by yarn weight. Do you want a tour of my yarn again? Let's give you a tour. Here's my yarn. It's by yarn weight. And that's pretty much it. This is all the fingering weight. This happens to be fingering weight minis, so therefore it lives there because it's fingering weight. Behind Hedwig here is sock yarn. Okay. This bin And on top is leftover sock yarn. This half of the bin is leftover fingering weight that is not sock yarn. So you've got this. This is not sock yarn. It is absolutely gorgeous and I love it. I don't remember what the fiber content is. Here it is on the screen. But it's not for socks. So therefore, it lives in here. I have mohair in here because, again, not socks. And then on right down here, right here, this is the Cascade 220. So this is worsted weight. This is left over from, I think I've said it every time I say it, Harry Potter dolls. Left over from Harry Potter dolls. And this is left over from my sheep hat. Okay. Worsted weight goes here. Now, this pretty basket, I'm not cut off my head here. This pretty basket has a project in it, yarn and pattern. It's just waiting for me to cast on. And down here, there is a doggy. Okay. This basket, you're fine, soon, okay? Soon. This basket holds the yarn that I got at Knitting Retreat last fall because I didn't want it to be integrated with everything else because I just didn't. So it has a couple things that I know what's going to be. These are sock sets, tweed, sock yarn, socks. Then I have others in here that I don't know what to make with it, so it's still there. And then I have books, all my patterns. Pattern books. These 3 binders and this binder are patterns that I have printed off. I have more that are printed off and ready to be put in a binder, but I am out of binder room and I need more. I need another one. I have a lot of patterns. Let's go see my other bookcase. The big tall one ended with the worsted weight because that's all the non-acrylic worsted weight that I have is the Cascade 220. This is DK Sport and the one single skein of bulky weight that I have. So here's DK weight, sport weight, left over from a project, a single skein. Here's my bulky. No, that's not. Here's the bulky. Here's another single skein. This is DK weight sock yarn. This, can you see that? It's my head in the way. Okay. This is a project. This is a project. This is a project. And look, we have another pretty basket that has yarn and pattern in it, just waiting for me to cast it on. This is a project that needs to be seamed because it's a crochet hexagon blanket. The yarn underneath it is yarn for a sweater that I just need to make. Yes, I have the pattern printed off. It's over there. I just need to make it. This is a project. It was a mystery knit along. I stopped about halfway through the year and never picked it back up again. So that's there waiting for me to decide, do I continue on or do I stop it where it is? Okay. This one has been a project, an on and off project since 21 or 22. And I am so close to finishing that I just need to finish it. I just need to, but I'm not liking my colors anymore. Because by the time I got around to ordering the yarn for it, the colors that I actually wanted were not in stock anymore. And I don't even think they carry this yarn anymore. And I don't like the colors together. So I'm going to finish it and get rid of it. And then I won't have to look at it anymore. But that's, I'm going to sit here now. That's how I'm organized. Okay. I have it by yarn weight. And also in the case of the fingering weight, it's kind of by project as well. There's 1, 2, 3 projects up there that I have patterns for. The mini skeins, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing with it. I just haven't done it yet because I want to make sure that's what I want to do. So that's how I'm organized. How do you want to organize your yarn? Okay. There's no right or wrong way. What makes sense to you is how you should do it. Now, the next thing why are you really tall? There you go. Now you're no longer really, really tall. Now that you have your yarn organized, however you want it organized, how many projects can you make without buying yarn? Without getting scrappy? So no scrappy projects allowed. Okay, no scrappy blankets, no scrappy hats, no scrappy socks, no scrappy scarves, none of that. How many can you make? I made a list. I can make 22 things without getting scrappy. And yes, that does include a couple pairs of socks in there. But that's knocking over my water. 22 things. That's a lot of things without having to buy yarn. And I'm kind of doing a challenge for myself of how long can I go without buying yarn. Yarn for my commission that I'm working on does not count because, again, it's not for me. It's, oh my gosh, the dog. I am so sorry if you can hear her. Anyway. Personal use. Yarn for personal use. I haven't bought yarn since November. We're in April. It's pretty good. You can do this no buy with me if you want. No worries. But I can do so many projects. So many. And a lot of them are on these 2 shelves. Because there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this shelf bookcase alone. There's 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many socks I can make without having to buy them, but maybe 7. Where is this hair? Maybe about 7 or so on that bookcase without having to buy yarn. And then you have a few that are still in tote bags because one is a frogged blanket, a crochet frogged blanket that I didn't want to work on it anymore. It was too big. I am going to remake it. I like that yarn. I am going to remake it, but I'm going to make it the actual size of the pattern, which is throw size. And then I will obviously have leftover yarn. So that's in a tote bag over there. And then I have yarn that is frogged from a sweater that it's a bottom up. I got to split for sleeves. I was working on the front and back separately. And it was at that point that I realized I don't like the sweater. And leopard print is not for me. So I frogged that. And that yarn is now going to be it's going to be a stripe hype sweater when, eventually I get to it. Counting how many projects you can make without buying yarn goes back to your organizing. Do you want to organize it by project? Like have this sweater's quantity right here all together? Like this? Like this? This is a sweater, so I'm keeping it together because it came in a kit. And here's my sweater. So it's right there. This is a sweater. This is a shawl. This is a stocking. How are you going to organize it? Hi. I want you to box up your yarn. Okay? Apparently the neighbor's dog wants you to box up your yarn too. Because seeing what yarn you have, knowing how many projects you can make without having to buy yarn will make you a better maker. I really do want you to box up your yarn. Remember, you do have permission to throw it away. You have permission to donate. You can keep it if you want to. You can toss it. There's no right or wrong here. Keep what you want. Keep what inspires you. Put your pretty yarn out on display and get inspired to use what you have. It will make you a better maker. I promise. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.